Good morning or afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our Dungeons & Dragons campaign, Session 4. Last time was an extra long session. We all loved it very much. As usual, please watch the previous episodes for a recap. Alexandra, Bronson, and Kamara, you all long rest and reach level 3? You all rest in your tents. The campfire still alight, although just barely. Bronson, I imagine you head back out as the sun starts to rise to bury Commander Lucia. Kamara, you sleep dreamily and peacefully as your dreams vary in time and subject. Maybe you dream about the Goliath that you and Bronson talked about the previous night. Maybe you dream of your home, or just a random memory from your previous endeavors. Either way, you dream rather peacefully and contently. However, Alexandra, your sleep does not go pleasantly. Whilst you do gain the benefits of a long rest, you wake up feeling absolutely sick to your stomach. That level of exhaustion might have gone, but yet it hurts to even move. It's as if someone slammed into your body with a horse. Heck, even dragging yourself out of bed is a trial in of itself. Your face is absolutely caked in sweat, your makeup smeared, and even though you were pale to begin with, you look somehow even more so today. You are almost the physical embodiment of looking just as bad as you feel.
Kamari sits outside beside the fire, still in her nightclothes. She set up a little metal grill over the campfire, cooking some raw meat from her provisions. She's humming a little melody to herself as she watches the sun rise in the distance, along with the sweet sounds of the campfire.
Alexandra drags herself out of her tent, her bare legs wobbling as she sits on the adjacent side of the campfire. I imagine the ascending sun's rays hitting her face don't alleviate anything. She breathes deeply, not saying a word.
By the living gods. Alexandra, you look like merde absolue. What's come over you? Kamari is practically staring at her, wide-eyed. You look like death itself, if he was left to mold in a burning sun for a week.
Spare me your vapid insults, Bard. It's just a bad cold. Just be quiet and let me gather my strength.
Bad cold. Don't play me for a fool, Alexandra. What's truly wrong with you?
Alexandra rubs her sweat-soaked forehead, feeling like someone placed a burning knife into her skull, razors down her throat, and a dozen feathers up her nose. She merely gestures for Kamara to be silent, her eyeliner trickling down her cheeks.
Femme têtue, Alexandra. Trop têtue pour ton propre bien. Kamari makes her way over to her, crouching down beside her. If you don't tell me, I'm going to look you over myself. I possess adequate knowledge when it comes to biology and ailments, so your choice.
Your jests are becoming as dull as your insults. Alexandra tips her head back as she's on the verge of a big sneeze. Her entire body is shaking and her face gets paler. Her clothes are practically glued to her due to how much she's sweating.
Kamari searched through her satchel, getting out some cloth as well as her glasses. Crouching back down beside Alexandra, Kamari gently presses the fresh cloth against Alexandra's nose, waiting for her to blow.
Alexandra inhales sharply before screaming out a huge sneeze, her throat now feeling as if those same razors latched themselves deep down and began making their way back up, slitting the skin open as they do so. She lays back now, a weary, drained mess.
Sois béni. S'il était si fort que je pense que même les dieux eux-mêmes l'ont entendu. God bless you. Kamari sets the cloth aside, unfolding her glasses. I'm going to find out what's wrong with you one way or another. If you won't tell me in some way, I'll take matters into my own hands and find out.
Alexandra reaches out, her hands clasping Kamara's. If you don't stay out of my business, I will make sure you pay for it for the rest of your days. Alexandra's voice is on the verge of breaking, the pain in her throat becoming almost unbearable.
We're all traveling together, and if you can't defend yourself, then what does that mean for you? For all of us, even. And also, your throat won't work on me, you can barely keep your eyes open. I somehow doubt you'll be able to cast a spell at me.
Alexandra's grip on her wrists becomes a little more tense. She gives Kamara a glare before snatching her glasses, and threatening to break them, holding either end of them.
Well, that's just petty, Alexandra, threatening to break one of my belongings like a child. Really? I know you're a mess right now, but I seriously thought you other people would know better than this.
Alexandra's hands tremble as she barely has the strength to keep her arms up.
Go on then, break them. Break my glasses. Checking you over will be a lot more difficult when counting their absence, but it won't stop me. So really you're just delaying the inevitable. The only thing you have control over is whether how easy you make this for me.
Her entire body shaking, Alexandra seems to hesitate before dropping the glasses and looking ready to cry. What the fuck is wrong with me? I went from traversing the fucking astral plane to just sulking here next to a fucking campfire. What a pathetic contrast.
Kamari sits down near Alexandra, hopefully receiving recognition as Kamari looks at her with renewed interest and understanding. The astral plane, did you say? You wandered an adventure through it.
A nod from Alexandra answers Kamara's questions, her eyes briefly looking into camera ears for a second before she closed them, the back of her eyes feeling like they're being beaten by drumsticks.
Eh bien, c'était quelque chose à laquelle je ne m'attendais pas. Well, that was something I didn't expect. Won't put on the matter for now. But can you please let me look you over? You look like rotting food festering in the back of an old outhouse.
Fine, but make it quick. Alexandra places the glasses in Kamara's hands. You'll need these, I imagine. For a brief moment, Alexandra remembers the cause of her affliction, but her throat is in too much pain right now for her to speak further.
Merci, mon société tu. Thank you. DM, can I please roll the appropriate check to find out what on earth is eating at Alexandra?
Of course. Catherine, please roll me either a medicine, nature, or survival check.
Very well. Medicine will be. I have a good proficiency with that particular skill. That's a 12 plus 4, so 16 in total.
Kammerer, maybe it was because you all had your hands full last night, but you failed to check each other for injuries during the aftermath of the battle. It's a certainty that werewolves can transmit their affliction through a fresh bite.
Comme un détail simple que nous avons négligé et oublié. How could I forget something so paramount? I will relay all of what I have learned to Alexandra. DM, do I know anything more about the werewolf affliction?
Catherine, please roll me a history check.
A history check. Very well. That's not ideal. I got a 5 in total.
You know, you've read about this somewhere, but at this current moment in time, you can't recall the overall majority of what you retained on the subject.
Well, that's not exactly ideal. DM, could I possibly look for some berries or herbs or something to make into a possible extract to try and help Alexandra's symptoms? Could I mix some berries or something together? Try and help alleviate her fever. There's got to be some herb or berry that can be used to create some sort of tonic or be added into a hot drink to help with common symptoms. I know the affliction is not common, but the symptoms are.
That's a very good idea, Catherine. Because of that, please roll either a nature or survival check with advantage.
Thank you, Donald. Thank goodness that was with advantage. Otherwise, that would have been a natural one. So altogether, a 17 for my survival check.
Thank goodness indeed. Kamara, with a 17, you recall what knowledge you can about common herbs and plants that can help bring down fevers and ease common symptoms. I imagine you have a pot or something you can use over the grill and the campfire to boil some water and mix it all into a concoction.
Alexandra continues to sweat and scream out another sneeze. She's starting to become a metaphorical puddle.
God bless you.
You said you were going to get herbs. How long have you been gone?
I'm nearly finished, but I just need you to be patient for another few minutes that whilst I make the tonic. I nearly forgot about the meat that I left on the grill earlier. I think it's done now. With that, I'm going to store away the meat and begin throwing all the herbs together and brew this concoction. After the water has finished boiling in the pot, of course.
Very good. Whilst you're re-preparing and brewing the tonic, we will cut over to Bronson. Bronson, at this point in time, you have finished digging the grave for your commander. How you dug the grave is up to you as long as the reason is logical.
Bronson looks over at the corpse of his commander and then back at the fresh grave he's just dug. Oh, Commander, what on earth happened to you that you became a werewolf? Did you get attacked by surprise? Caught off guard, perhaps? All of these thoughts and possibilities are invading Bronson's mind. He almost rages as he gets himself caught up in all of these daunting theories and doubts. He wished Kamara was here with him now, but he let her sleep. He wanted to be alone. Just himself and his father figure. All of that being said, and dumb Bronson begins the delicate process of transferring the commander's body from outside of the grave to inside the grave, and then refilling the grave with loose dirt and grass, of course. After all of that, Bronson, almost bursting into tears halfway through, he sits beside the covered grave. I'm sorry there's no epitaph for you, Commander. Even if there was, though, I really don't think I am worthy enough to write it. I would leave that honor to your wife and colleagues. Like my teething friend said, Commander, I hope your soul is flying high and at peace. You were a monumental figure to me, and to so many others, yet all of your superiors treated you like a doormat. I know that I should not be bad-mouthing your superiors, Commander, but I'm being open here, exactly like you taught us. Rest in peace, Commander Loisha. You are one of the best commanders, warriors, and people to have ever walked this realm. When I return to Baldur's Gate, I will inform everyone of your legacy and ensure that it's kept alive for the centuries to come.
Bronson, after you finish that touching eulogy, you feel a slight touch on your shoulder as if someone tapped it.
Bronson spins around, taken by surprise. Does he see anyone behind him at all, Dim?
Apart from the commander's grave, you see nothing out of the ordinary, and no other soul is around. The ladies aren't too far away, but they could not have come up and touched your shoulder and then ran away that quickly, of course.
Does Brunson feel scared or uncomfortable or anything negative in terms of emotions, DM?
You feel like something is a bit off, but nothing more than that.
Very well then. After taking a minute to regain my bearings, I will return to the ladies and see what possible antics they are up to.
No problem. Bronson, after taking your time in your travels to return to Alexandra and Kamara, you find them beside the campfire with a hot pot full of some sort of concoction boiling inside.
By the living gods, Alexandra, you look like death warmed over. Kamara, what in the hells is happening here? I've only been gone for an hour.
Bonjour et bienvenue à nouveau, Bronson. Alexandra's health has been jeopardized by a fire last night. The werewolf infected her. I'm working on brewing something to lower her fever. Now our journey has a secondary purpose. We've got to cure Alexandra before the curse claims her completely.
It will take more than a special brew to manage these symptoms. But I appreciate your efforts, Kamar.
Unfortunately, as well as slowly turning her into a werewolf, her condition has also made her incredibly touchy.
It's incredibly hard to remain in a good mood when your entire body feels like it's dead set on killing itself, Kamar.
I know, Alexandra, but I'm going to try my damnedest to help you. Bronson included, I hope.
Well, of course, there's no question about it. Is there anything I can do to help? I can help get some wet cloth to help maintain her temperature.
Bronson and Kamara, you both make the necessary arrangements for what you both believe will help Alexandra. Alexandra, as you slowly drink the prepared tonic, can you please make a constitution check with advantage?
A constitution check. Certainly, with advantage. That is a dirty 20 in total.
Excellent. Alexandra, as you finish consuming the tonic, it tastes as of a variety of flavors. But the most important thing is that over the course of the next hour, your symptoms slowly subside after lessening in intensity. You feel close to what you consider healthy.
By the gods, that feels substantially better. Alexandra is actually able to get to her feet now without wobbling or falling. Albeit after a few attempts. Kamara Bronson, thank you. You have no idea of the amount of pain I was in. Think of the worst flu you can imagine and then triple it.
Alexandra, even though you feel almost 100%, there is still that lingering feeling of the fact that the sickness will return if this curse does not get dealt with soon.
I understand. Alexandra returns to her tent to change into her regular attire and reapply her makeup. Once that is done, she will help the others pack up the camp.
Kamaya has a quick exchange with Bronson as they all pack up. Bronson, if you don't mind me asking, how did the burying of your commander go? I hope you have found some closure.
Bronson is quiet for a moment before nodding. It was not easy, but then again, most things aren't. But it was necessary. I do not regret it. Thank you for asking.
So as you all finish packing up, you all head out back onto the path once again. Someone, please do a perception check to watch out for threats. As someone else does a survival check to ensure they are maintaining the proper direction.
Well, I can cast a bardic inspiration on whoever wants to help with these checks.
Well, for both my perception and survival skills, I have a +4 on both of them. So I'm happy with doing either check if everyone is in agreement on that.
I'm more than willing to do a survival check with help from some bardic inspiration. Just in case.
Sure thing, Alexandra. Kamara, would you mind giving me some bardic inspiration as well, please? I also want to be extra careful. Just in case.
No worries, I'm more than happy to do that. Kamari plays her flute calmly. A pot sense of calmness and encouragement fills the air around everyone. Both Bronson and Alexandra gain bardic inspiration.
Alexandra will now roll her survival check. That's a 13. Plus bardic inspiration. 16 total.
Brunson will now do a perception check, 12 + 4. Also an extra 3 from the bardic inspiration. 19 total.
Excellent. So with both of those rolls, Bronson, you maintain vigilance and caution as you all travel onwards. Alexandra, you use your survival instincts and knowledge to ensure you're all heading in the correct direction. So an hour or two into your journey, you come across a crossroads. There are some signposts near the center, although the signpost pointing in the direction of the Wheeldath Woods has been scratched at and almost destroyed, possibly by someone carving into it with some sort of blade or a claw. There is another signpost underneath that one pointing the same way. Written on it is the word Budbrooke, possibly a town or an outpost. While there are some scratches and slashes on it, it's mostly intact.
Maybe that's the werewolf's doing? Or a stray dire wolf? Either way, we're headed in that direction regardless.
It's rather ominous, isn't it? Also, when considering that the other signposts are undamaged.
If you give it further thoughts, yes, we can contemplate and speculate all evening. But it won't help us in the long run. Let's keep moving before the sun sets. Maybe if this Budbrooke is a town, then we could rest there for a short time. Maybe there's a herbalist there as well that can lend aid, or at the very least has herbs for sale.
As you all resume your late evening journey, Wildath Woods is in the distant horizon. It will take roughly an hour or two, but you can reach the edge of it by nightfall. Maybe you can even venture further into the woods, but that will leave you quite exhausted.
DM, can any of us spot a little town or settlement within the confines of the forest entrances? Or somewhere close to it? Maybe Budbrooke is just a small quaint outpost, but I happen to be curious.
Bronson, feel free to roll another perception check.
Kamari will give Bronson Anna des bardic inspiration, swiftly playing a melody on her flute.
Thank you, Kamara. 15 plus 4, so 19. And inspiration included is 24.
Holy smokes, Daniel, that's a great roll, with much appreciated help from Catherine as well. In the vicinity of the forest entrance, there does seem to be a collection of small stone houses adjacent to each other. Altogether, there are 7 of them, as well as a small church. Due to the setting sun, there are lit street lanterns lining a one-way street. Near the back of the church wall, you can see one of its windows has been somewhat damaged. It's barely holding itself together.
I will relay all of this information to the ladies, of course.
Well, from what you described, it doesn't seem to be much of a town. A small village, then. I would label it a hamlet, but you described seeing a church, Bronson.
It seemed like a good place to stock up on provisions and supplies. I'm unsure as to how many rations we all have left, but possibly is a good idea.
If you want to stop there, I'm fine with that. Alexandra, are you still feeling all right? How are you faring in terms of wellness?
DM, how is Alexandra holding up currently? Is the tonic still working its magic?
Alexandra, as you watch the sun begin to descend, you start to feel sweaty as if the air itself is humid. It won't be too long before the other symptoms start to resurface again.
Well, shit. Yes, stopping at that town seems like a good idea, especially before my symptoms return.
So it's decided then. Within about half an hour, all 3 of you are just outside the entrance to the town. To describe it again, this location is a single path, 3 houses on both sides as the path carries on. At the end of the path is the church, as well as a house much bigger than the other houses. There's a small sign near you all, with Budbrooke written on it. There are a few people out and about as the sun finishes its descent. Alexandra, you feel extremely hot. It's as if you're walking through a steam bath.
Oh, fantastic. Here we go again.
And with that, we will leave it there. Thank you, everyone, and see you very soon. Take care and look after yourselves. Welcome back, everyone, to the 5th session of our Dungeons & Dragons campaign. As usual, please watch the previous episodes to catch up on what's been happening. So you're all outside Budbrooke, the sun having just sunk down past the horizon. Alexandra, you're sweating profusely. What are you all doing? What would you like to do?
Well, do I have any water left in my water skin? If so, I'm going to pour some onto some spare fabric and dab at my face in a hopeful attempt to cool myself down.
Alexandra, as you wet your face in an attempt to cool yourself off, it only makes a marginal difference.
Well, we are close to the forest, so maybe we can gather some more herbs and try and make that same tonic again.
Definitely worth a shot, should it come to it. Also, as we discussed earlier, maybe we can find a herbalist. Hopefully one with advanced knowledge on stronger concoctions and brews.
Good idea to keep our options open, definitely.
Well, there's not much point standing around here. Let's go and explore this village.
As you all begin to make your way up the dirt path, shouting sounds out from further ahead.
Can we hear what the shouting is about?
The shouting is coming from the furthest house. There are 2 individuals, one dressed in baggy trousers and a loose cropped tunic, the other dressed nicely in a bright white button shirt, black trousers and a black jack-whore jacket.
Look, I reckon if we just give it some time, she will be back soon. All of these hysterics are drawing in unnecessary attention. You might want to degrade yourself with this pathetic spectacle and bravado, but I do not, dear sister.
You're just too afraid to face the truth. You're scared to go after her now that you're no longer living with us common folk. Just upturn your nose and walk away from those who care about you, and would do damn near anything for you. Try as you might, but you are not better than us.
Enough with this pointless quarrel. Take it up with the other residents, since you adhere to them and not your own flesh and blood.
This is not a quarrel, brother, but an exchange of the truth. I had thought time had humbled you, especially after Mother's passing, but it seems you're just as bad as Father was.
Do not ever compare me to that bastard. If you dare do so again, I will have you exiled. And you will not set foot in this beautiful village again.
Your threats do not frighten me, brother. Just like your morals, they are empty and lacking conviction.
Keep thinking that, sister. As I said, go and blather about it to someone else, or better yet, your little troop. Now, if you'll excuse me.
The lady stands there as what seems to be her brother walks away back into the house, slamming the door behind him. She shakes her head, evidently displeased with his words and actions.
That was a very unpleasant argument, wasn't it? Kamara looks a little uncomfortable, her tail wrapping around her legs like a cat keeping close to its human.
People displaying their private affairs and troubles out in the open never gets old. Alexandra is already making her way over to this vociferous woman despite feeling a little rougher than she did a few minutes ago. Excuse me, miss, but I couldn't help but overhear that forthright argument.
Okay then. I guess we're heading over there right away. Bronson jogs after Alexandra along with Kamare, I assume.
Attends une minute, Alexandra. Attends-nous. Wait for the rest of us.
I mean, the whole village probably heard the argument, but no one else seemed to pay it any mind.
That's because they all already know about the friction between me and my brother. But since you're all expressing interest, and I haven't seen your faces around here before, you must be new in town.
That's correct, of course. I am Alexandra. These are my traveling companions, I suppose. Bronson and Kamarer. May I inquire as to your name?
Emma Nadway, proud resident of this lovely town of Budbrooke. Do you mind my asking, are you feeling okay, Alexandra? You look very pale and your body is sweating excessively.
Bronson and Kamara catch up, hearing the conversation in the process. Just a minute now, Alexandra.
Yes, just a minute. We shouldn't get caught up in other business when our main priority is acquiring herbs and provisions for our journey. Priorities.
When was getting caught up in other people's business on the table? I merely wish to talk to Emma here, not get webbed into her business like a spider ensnaring its prey.
May I assume that these herbs correlate to your unhealthy look, Alexandra? You look as if you went 10 rounds with a fire elemental and lost.
Yes, I've been getting those sorts of comments a lot as of late. Do you know where we might find some herbs? Aside from out in nature, of course. And what sort of herbs can help manage a potential fever and residual nausea?
I might know a recipe or two. If you have no other business elsewhere, please come follow me and I can make something up for you. After all, I wouldn't want you travellers to leave his place feeling worse and getting the wrong impression.
With an invite and a request so lovely, how can one refuse? Bronson looks and mentally notes Emma's attire, wondering why she dresses so informally.
Yes, please lead the way, Emma.
With that, Emma leads you back towards the front of the town and into the closest house on the right. She unlocks and opens the door for you all, a musty smell hitting you all simultaneously.
Please excuse all of the untidiness and the disarray. I just returned not long ago. Only just returned last night, actually. Emma's home is just one room, barely lit by candles and wall lanterns. The place is incredibly dusty and smells somewhat abandoned.
Far be from me to judge, but I must say that the smell leaves a lot to be desired, Emma.
And I think I see some very thick cobwebs and large spiders in every corner of this place. You said you just got back, so how long were you gone for? A year?
Even if you were gone for a long time, you could have had someone housekeep. Just keep an eye on the place. Kamarier searches through a satchel before getting a fresh cloth covering her lower face and stifling 3 sneezes as Aldous is getting to her.
God bless you, Kamari. And I was gone for a long time. Yes, about a year, actually. Maybe longer. Or was it just under a year? I forget the exact length of time I was gone for. Anyways, I know it's not much or even pleasant, but please do make yourselves at home.
I will most certainly try. Besides, if you can brew this concoction to help with my symptoms, then I will be in your debt.
Well, there is something you could all possibly do for me in return. And I can also offer you more than a special concoction.
Well, now consider me very much intrigued. What is this thing that you want us to do in return?
As long as it doesn't involve housekeeping, I am more than up for it.
Kamarier stifles another sneeze or watering.
God's bless you, and what you can do for me is very specific. You see, when I was away, my more than upstanding brother did things that were morally grey. Our parents ran Budbrooke for several decades before father ran off one day with almost all of Budbrooke's money. Ever since then, mother has always tried to rectify that wrongdoing. Whilst we did slowly recover financially, Budbrooke has never been the same since. Our family's name has been somewhat besmirched since it was a massive betrayal of trust. Mother did a damn good job of restoring Budbrooke, but even then things have seemed off. Maybe it's just superstition or paranoia. Although Edwin, my brother, always dismissed these claims. Understandable. Then mother suddenly starts getting seriously ill out of nowhere all of a sudden. Edwin is rarely ever there at her side, even in her final days. Then, as soon as mother dies, Edwin inherits all of her property and possessions as well as title of mayor. Even though mother wanted the title to go to me, to be candid, I think Edwin killed mother and changed her will. To make things worse, the local cleric who runs the church here vanishes. Which is extremely strange because our local cleric loves this town dearly and would never up and leave this place. What's worse, Edwin tells me to forget about searching for her completely despite my gut feelings telling me otherwise. That's mainly what we were conversing about earlier.
Those are very serious accusations. What evidence do you have?
Not much aside from these peculiar events and circumstances. That's why I want your help. You all have to confess that the whole thing sounds extremely coincidental, don't you think?
So what exactly do you want us to do about your brother, Emma? Gather evidence. Bring in any potential witnesses, because, Kamara said, accusations mean nothing without cold, hard evidence.
And as much as I love gossip, it can only do so much, even when it works in your favor.
Even if you bring forth witnesses, they'll buckle under Edwin's pressure. They fear him due to how cold he comes across. Even if they don't, they probably don't know much more than we do. Finding our cleric sounds like the best option.
I can be very persuasive when it comes to talking to individual. Maybe I ought to have a chat with Edwin.
You can do, but be careful. That bastard has a tongue as sharp as silver. Probably best to take someone with you just in case.
I can be there as the muscle, Kamara.
Kamari nods an agreement, turning and sneezing once more. Excuse me. That sounds good, Bronson.
Gods bless you. Whilst you're both paying Edwin a surprise visit, me and Alexandra will investigate the church. Apparently that's the last place Clarice was spotted.
I take it you'll cook up some special tonic before we leave? I can't exactly be investigating whilst I'm burning up.
No, I'm going to leave you suffering. Emma cocks her head before getting up. Of course I'll whip something up. It's just one part of our deal.
Again, for the sake of brevity, Emma mixes and boils her composite brew, Alexandra soon feeling back to normal. Well, as normal as you can feel. So you all split up into pairs, Kamara and Bronson going to question Edwin. Emma and Alexandra to investigate the church for signs of the cleric, Clarice.
Emma leads Alexandra inside. Both herself are heaving the huge wooden door open. Inside, the church is like a ghost town. A relic of something once used, now forgotten.
Emma, you and Alexandra don't see it until it's too late. This hunched, misshapen humanoid with an awkward body posture. Since this creature got the jump on you both, it's going to roll initiative with advantage. Emma and Alexandra, can you both roll initiative as well with disadvantage?
Even with disadvantage, that's a 13.
That's only an 8 for Alexandra.
Wow, even with the advantage, the creature only got 11. Emma, you're up first. This creature is within close proximity, close enough for you to strike it if you wish.
Emma's posture immediately changes, going into a sharp defensive one. After assessing the repulsive-looking creature, she almost vaults towards the thing, easily landing a kick on its chest. She somersaults over the ungodly thing, seeming unbothered as it dodges her next strike. However, that strike is swiftly followed by another, landing a heavy blow with her fist, an uppercut to the wretch's jaw. She returns to her previous posture, concluding her turn.
In response to being bombarded by your hits, Emma, the peculiar thing seems to try and literally shake it off as it shakes its head rapidly before using the momentum to swipe with its claws. You missed that attack, but just barely, leaning to the side as it would have carved its claws into you otherwise. The abomination, seemingly miffed by this, does so again, and it's slower than you expected. Emma, you duck effortlessly. A gargling sound comes from the creature as it seems to tap dance as if putting on a show.
Damn thing is insane. Alexandra also gets things in motion, using her tempestuous magic to get 10 feet away from the ugly bastard, magical winds encircling her and carrying her to safety easily. She gets as far back as she can afterwards before firing a chaos bolt. Natural 20. The chaos bolt, even more volatile than usual, is hurled at the beastly boy. The force of the blast almost sends him skyrocketing, but he grips his claws into the ground before that can happen.
Seeing Alexandra's magical blast, Emma times the aftermath of it to try and hit the monster as he attempts to recover, landing an open palm strike to the back of its head, followed up by a roundhouse kick to the face as it turns around. The sound of bones breaking fills the air, Emma smirking.
Emma, how do you want to do this?
Feeling the creature's bones break, Emma practically grabs the creature's head before slamming her knee up against its lower jaw. Then again before palm striking it directly in the eye thrice, all within a matter of moments.
This rapid onslaught brings the ambiguous Iser to death's door, the thing soon laying dead on the ground. Its eye still glows, but it's lost some saturation.
By the gods, that was an incredible display, Emma. Where did you learn how to weaponize your body like that?
Where do you think I ventured off to this past year? Well, it's been several years with many home visits in between. By covenant, I can't say much except that I had exceptional teachers.
Cutting over to Kamara and Bronson, you both are outside Edwin's house.
Are you ready, Kamara? Bronson is beside her, ready with his muscular figure and wit.
Kamari is still recovering from all the dust and dirt from inside Emma's home, blowing her nose quietly and wiping her teary eyes. Yes, Bronson, I'm ready.
If you're sure. Is there anything I can do to help you?
You're sweet to ask, but I'll leave.
Kamara, please roll a constitution check to see if you've properly recovered.
Very well, DM sets of 17 in total.
Apart from the occasional sniffle, you've pretty much recovered. So are you both knocking on the door?
I'm tempted to try and sneak in, but if I get caught, then that will only complicate things further. So we'll knock.
After you both knock on the door, there is about a minute's pause before the door is answered and opened by Edwin.
Good evening. Can I help either of you with something?
Please. I'm a merchant who's been on the road for a long while. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to make you a most generous offer. One that would be brief and worth your time.
Camarera, please roll a deception check.
23.
Usually I don't bother with this sort of thing, but you've obtained my interest. It sounds like you're about to make me an offer I cannot refuse. Although why is he with you? Edwin nods to the armored dwarf.
I'm her personal bodyguard. A young lady such as my employer here would be foolish to travel these roads without some protection against whatever may be lurking in these lands.
Bronson, please also roll a deception check.
That's 15.
It would be foolish indeed. Very well, both of you might as well come in.
As you both enter and travel down and follow the mayor down this long, beautiful, polished hallway. Not a speck of dirt or dust can be seen. Many bookshelves and paintings line the walls of this beautiful home. Edwin leads you all to a room with fine oak furniture and a pristine coffee table. 2 floating mage hands are pouring tea from a teapot into 2 antique teacups. They then glide away into another room afterwards.
My, that's quite a display of magical skill there.
It's barely the surface of untapped potential, miss. Please seat yourselves. I was planning on sharing some tea with a close friend, but alas, they haven't shown. So you might as well indulge as we discuss this invigorating offer of yours.
And an invigorating offer is... Camarera sits herself down in front of the coffee table, the fine furniture almost catching Camarera off guard with how comfortable it is. But before business can begin, I need all members of the home present. Is it only yourself here tonight?
Correct, it's just me. I live alone, actually.
Are you certain? If there are other family members involved, they must be present.
There are no other family members involved or present. Can we please proceed?
Bronson leans back in his seat next to Kamara, holding a teacup and taking a small sip. Please don't get snappy at my boss, mister.
I don't believe we've made any formal introductions. Although if this offer isn't done and concluded soon, there won't be any. But fine. Edwin Nowdway, Mayor. If you don't mind, please get to your proposal. Now. Otherwise, there's nothing left to discuss.
Mayor Edwin, I'm her. You welcome us into your beautiful home and even offer us tea. You're being a most gracious host. In return, I am ensuring that not just you, but your whole family receive the full benefits of our deal.
A deal you have yet to elaborate on.
Then please answer my employer honestly, Mayor Edwin. Surely you don't want to pass your family up on this golden offer.
Bronson, a persuasion check, please. Kamara, if you're helping, roll with advantage.
I am definitely helping by reciting how significant this deal is for everyone involved.
Excellent. Wow, I rolled 17 on both dice, so that's my total.
Edwin grinds his teeth in building frustration.
There are other family members. My dearest sister and someone else very close to me who's dead now. My sister needn't be involved in this. Now, a mountain of paperwork won't pleat itself, so get to this deal. What are you proposing? An expansion in trade. Wooden flooring for the main path.
I am so very sorry for your loss. Kamari decided that this is getting nobody anywhere. So she just drops the act. Edwin, your sister has told us many things about you that are extremely coincidental.
I was wondering what that lingering feeling in the air was. Please leave my home, both of you.
Just admit or deny it, Edwin. Put these speculations out of our minds.
Edwin's eyes turn completely pitch black.
Does that answer your question? Now I must go and deal with my Dan's sister. But what kind of host would I be if I left you both unaccompanied? Edwin snaps his fingers, conjuring blazing green flames and a mad laughter surround an undead flame skull. Edwin disappears into black mist, gone.
Everyone please roll initiative.
15.
14 on my end.
The flamesco begins to blur and disorientate, illusion magic surrounding it like a vortex joining the flames in a beautiful hypnotic dance. It doesn't get too close to either of you, seemingly watching you both with its burning flames lodged in its eye sockets.
Kamari uses her Ombro Level 2 spell. Ethereal Armor. You touch a willing creature that isn't an undead or a construct. The target gains base 5 temporary hit points, your dexterity and charisma modifier. Once the temporary hit points are depleted or the caster becomes incapacitated, the spell ends. Add on another 5 to the base 5 for every spell level above 2. Kamari casts that on herself, this transparent, ghostly armor circling around her chest before fading until it's barely noticeable. Her voice then gets augmented in terms of volume as she attempts to cast vicious mockery, proclaiming what wretched asshole clenched and shut you out.
The flamskull flinches for a moment, temporarily confused before seeming to regain its bearings.
Bronson immediately enters a barbarian rage, his muscles enlarging a little before he gets in front of Kamara, using himself as a shield before swinging his blade at the oversized skull, the blurriness of the skull making it difficult for him to aim, but nonetheless he attempts it. But misses.
The Flamskull decides to put some distance between itself and you guys.
Bronson leaps up and tries to land a hit, natural one.
Once near the edge of the room, the undead skull unleashes 2 rays of fire from its eyes, one aimed at each of you since it's at an angle where it can aim at both of you. Bronson, you dodge the ray of fire easily. Kamara, you're just a tad slower. You get pelted with a hefty amount of flames.
Kamari's infernal blood helped negate some of the damage. Thinking quickly, she takes cover against the coffee table, casting fairy fire before doing so, firing a blissful burst of multicolored or magical glitter at the wretched thing.
The Flamesco manages to dodge out of the way at the last second.
Kamaria begins playing a rapid tune on her flute, gradually building up the pace before aiming an aura of inspirational magic at Bronson, inspiring him. She crushes behind cover again.
Bronson slips back into his barbarian-fueled rage, charging at the damned skull. Unsure of whether his blow will strike true, he draws upon the inspirational magical aura Kamara had just bestowed upon him. Thanks to that aura, his magical battle thunks into the skull with a heavy crunch.
The undead cranium rattles due to the force of the impact. In response, it fires a barrage of magical missiles so quickly that you don't have time to react. You take a full-on barrage to the face. Its eyes then glow blue before seeming to pulse, readying itself.
Dropping concentration fairy fire, Kamari refocuses as she casts Bane.
The skull seems to be affected as enchantment magic ensares it like a spider webbing up its prey.
Kamari's voice booms in volume as she casts vicious mockery again, announcing, behold, a most pathetic opponent. Half skull, half fear, all useless.
Natural 20. The burning skull doesn't even acknowledge you this time, Kamara.
Still somewhat clinging onto its face, Bronson dislodges his weapon, leaping up again, his attack reckless. He almost roars as his attack misses again.
With the glowing, pulsing blue energy now built up, the skull unleashes 2 blasts of them. Again, one at each of you. Despite all of the enchantment magic latching onto it, the skull strikes you again, Kamara. This time cold, freezing energy blasts into you, Bronson dodging again.
Kamari clenches her fist as her body is racked with intense coldness, but she maintains concentration on the bend spell. Again, she casts vicious mockery, shouting, "You pisse pour excuse of existence."
The thing flinches again, obviously hurt, and the illusion magic fades from it. The skull attempts to move away from Bronson.
Seeing his chance, Bronson almost flips his weapon around and thrusts it at his enemy. Bronson laughs as he heavily chipped the creature's jawbone.
With the Flamskull now at a distance, everyone make dexterity saving throws, please.
15 thanks to danger sense.
23.
You both take 29 fire damage halved.
Kamari's infernal blood again helps her shrug most of the damage off. She's still concentrating on Ban as well, even through all of that. I was saving this spell, but I guess I'll take a chance on testing now. It's called Gossamer's Imprint. With a concise flick of your wrist and a few arcane words, you conjure glowing strands of silk that wrap around the target. The target must make a charisma saving throw. On a fail, they take necrotic damage and their next attack deals half damage. On a success, they take half of the necrotic damage and their next attack deals double damage.
That's a success on its save.
Got it. Kamari will move along to the next bit of cover within 30 feet.
Bronson is almost itching as he continues to rage, unleashing more of his barbarian-fueled energy. His blade gets another great hit on the thing, almost crushing part of it.
Bronson, how do you want to do this?
Bronson goes all out, hacking and pounding the damned skull until it's no more than pieces of bone on the floor.
Excellent, Bronson. With that, you're both now left to your own devices. The surrounding environment and furniture are starting to burn and flames are spreading fast.
Is there time for us to search Edwin's private quarters for any information or documents?
You both have roughly a couple of minutes before the property starts to take serious fire damage. If you're both searching, roll an investigation check with advantage.
Kamara, can you please give me some bardic inspiration if I roll?
She's replaying her flute, but she's expended her inspiration magic. Her tune is unorganized and imperfect. She volunteers to do the check.
Very well then.
That's a 10.
The best you can find is a few loose sheets of paperwork as you locate Edwin's private chambers. You both have about a minute before you start choking from smoke inhalation.
Can we try and leave through a back exit? If there is one.
Bronson, please roll a perception check.
10.
Bronson, you just about make out what seems to be a back door. You and Kamara burst through it, soon realizing that it was a window as you feel the shattered glass graze and slice at you. You both take 4 slashing damage as you land outside, relatively unharmed otherwise.
Are you all right, Kamara? Bronson checks her over, coughing a little from the smoke.
I'm all right. Thank you, Bronson. Just a little weary after all that's just happened. Come on, we need to get away from here and tell the others about what we've learned.
You both hear commotion from near the front of the house, mainly concerned townspeople and hysterics as the place is seriously burning now.
DM, can we both roll stealth checks to sneak away undetected?
Of course, separate rolls this time, however.
14.
16.
You both enter some nearby shrubbery and use that to help become inconspicuous, sneaking away undetected and unseen. You sneak back round to the front of the house, Edwin amongst the townspeople, and seemingly trying to run into his home, but people hold him back.
I don't know what Edwin truly is, but I don't feel as bad as I should about his house burning down. Bronson says all of this extremely quietly to Kamara.
I feel the same way.
For brevity, you all reunite just outside Emma's house, Edwin's house, a blazing inferno.
By the living gods, is that beautiful destruction you're doing, Bronson? Kamar, Alexandra has her usual cheeky smirk on her face. Edwin's house now becoming almost a pretty sight to her.
Emma is already guiding the others inside, being quick about it. Get inside quickly. We've got a lot to discuss and tell each other, but not out here.
Once you're all inside, Emma locks the door behind you. The panicked voices of the crowd outside become muffled and seemingly distant.
Kamari is already getting her scrap of cloth back out of her satchel, her breath hitching and eyes closed as all of the dust in the air gets to her nose once again.
First of all, what in the hell's happened at Edwin's place? You both said you were going to talk to him, or the very least persuade him to, not destroy his property. Emma looks over at Camarera and Bronson.
Bronson decides to speak up, rubbing Kamara's back as he could hear how badly she's trying to keep her sinuses under control. Well, we did, Emma, but we weren't making much progress despite how often we got him to lower his guard. So we asked him bluntly as concerned citizens.
And let me guess, he didn't take it very well.
Well, he was already onto us. Apparently he knew something was amiss. Here's the significant part. His eyes went completely black and he summoned a flaming undead skull before disappearing.
And he claimed he was going to go deal with you, Emma. Kamari begins stifling a few sneezes into her cloth, Bronson still rubbing her back.
Gesundheit, Kamari. And by the gods, that's daunting to hear. I always knew Edwin was an enigmatic son of a bitch, but what you just described is powerful sorcery. Incredibly so.
I hope I'll be able to summon undead skulls someday, Alexandra murmurs to herself.
And what a resourceful bastard he is. How he got these sorcery powers, I don't know. But I will get answers once I figure out how to approach the situation and deal with him.
Well, it won't just be you who'll be spewing the questions, sweetie. With the mayor's home up in flames, inquiries will be made and interrogations will be done by the dozens.
I know, and that's what worries me. I'm surprised Edwin hasn't kicked down my door yet. Don't worry, I'll take full responsibility for this. You're all just wandering travelers that I tricked into helping me. Something like that.
Thank you, Emma. Of course, hopefully it won't come down to that. If we can expose your brother out in the open, then everyone will see him for what he truly is.
Kamari nods in agreement, sniffing behind her improvised handkerchief, eyes watering.
Another thing before I forget, Emma, you said you can offer more to me than just a tonic. What exactly were you referring to?
A permanent cure for your sickness, depending on what it actually is.
Go on.
Well, do you know what it actually is? If it's some affliction that is caused by poison, I know someone who can cure people of poisoning. If it's something dire like a curse, Clarisse might have the solution. Of course, we're no closer to finding her now than we were earlier tonight.
Let's go with the latter. Anyways, let's try and formulate a plan here. How are we going to tackle this whole giant fucking situation?
Well, I'm spent. I need to rest. Although I doubt I'll get much of it if this place doesn't get dusted.
Trust me, Kamare. Dusting will only make it worse. I'm sorry about the state of this place, but there's not too much I can do right now. Out of curiosity, Emma inspects one of her bookshelves, blowing on it. She glanced around as a huge cloud of dust and dirt rose up and twirled around her. Well, fuck me. There's so much dust. Emma's breath hitched as she turns, practically screaming out 3 huge sneezes, the sounds echoing around the room for a few moments.
Goodness. God bless you.
Thank you. Whoever needs to recuperate, do so. The rest of us will come up with a rough plan.
If you're sure, Emma, I might hit the hay as well just for a bit, as I need to replenish my rages.
The calm before the storm, as they say. I like it, Bronson.
Well, I'm far from tired, so just us two then, Emma.
It seems that's the case. All right, then. Let's try and work something out, Alexandra.
Kamari begrudgingly gets her sleeping bag out, her skin itching along with her eyes and sinuses. She's not confident about getting any rest, but she might as well try. She does remove her armor, but she's still donning clothes underneath, of course.
If you can't get any sleep, then why not read that special book you showed me the other day? Bronson gave Kamar a cheeky smile as he got ready to rest himself.
Tu es un homme effronte, Bronson. Vous êtes un homme très effronte, very brazen. But I shall keep that in mind. Good night.
All right, everyone, we will end the session there. Thank you all so very much and take care. See, welcome back everyone to our 6th Dungeons and Dragons session. It seems not so long ago that you were all in Prestorp, unaware of each other's existence. As usual, please watch the previous episodes to catch up. Thank you. So Emma and Alexandra are the only ones awake currently.
Emma gets some logs to put in her fireplace, getting it lit and going. The crackling, quiet embers sound and fill up most of the temporary silence.
Quick question, Emma. If things go bad, if we can't stop your brother through more civil means, could you bring yourself to kill him? I know it seems like you hate him quite a bit, but he's still your family.
I'm not sure. I don't even know who he is anymore. The black eyes, the summoning of that creature, I don't know if it's even him. If it is, if I have to, then I'll bring myself to end him. But I say that with a very heavy heart. I loved him at one point. He's still my sibling. But if he's too far gone...
You know what's ironic? I know someone who I once considered family for practically decades. I trusted them with my life, without any hesitation or further thought, but when I suggested a way for us both to live glamorous and beautifully made lives, they cast me out of house and home. Just because I presented and suggested a way for us both to luxuriate ourselves in life. Sometimes I regret offering them all that I did. Maybe things would be entirely different from what they are now. I could be enjoying my special life from the tops of mountains and civilizations. Or in an eternity of blissful paradise.
You're speaking in partial riddles, Alexandra. An eternity of blissful paradise? Living on top of mountains. Very odd choice of words and metaphors.
Well, I wouldn't fret over trying to make sense of it. This is all in the past tense after all.
Well, you've got my attention now, so you might as well elaborate.
Well, Emma, I once was on the cusp of achieving great power. Unlike most of my peers, I aim to be as powerful as the gods themselves. And I nearly succeeded in all aspects. I once was close to gaining power in the upper realms. Now I'm here, stuck on the damn material plane, suffering from a curse. A curse brought on by a fucking werewolf. Before my reluctant departure, I could kill beasts like that in a second. Now, it's somewhat punishing me in the afterlife by spreading its damned curse. I don't know where that beast is in the afterlife, but I wish it the absolute worst. Especially for afflicting me like it did. Damn fucking thing.
Bronson is intentionally taking note of all of this, his shoulders tense as Alexandra says what she says. Eventually he can't help it and turns over in his sleeping bag. Alexander the werewolf was my commander. He was a magnificent and brave man, so show him some fucking respect.
My. Bronson, I forgot you were there for a moment. Don't take what I say too close to heart. This is all in the past tense after all.
I don't give a damn what tense it's in. Do not besmirch my commander's reputation. I wouldn't do that to any of your close colleagues or family. Seems that unpleasantness is seeped on to present company. Bronson eyes her before laying back down.
Kamari triste stifle a sneeze before also turning over in her sleeping bag. Can you all please drop it? All of this is pointless. Everyone just keep to themselves. At least until Edwin has been dealt with. We've our hands full with him already.
Excellent suggestion, Kamari. Alexandra, I don't entirely understand or care what you did in the past, but as long as your intentions are morally good, then that's all that matters.
Profoundly observed on all counts. Now, Emma, can we get back to plotting your brother's downfall?
Kamara, roll a constitution check to see how well you rest.
That's 13.
Kamara, despite all of the dirt and dust affecting you, you managed to rest fairly well. Without any disturbances or interruptions. Emma and Alexandra, you're both up for the 8 hours everyone takes for their rest. What else have you been doing for the rest of that time? Aside from plotting Edwin's defeat?
Ek and Emma have returned to the church for a brief period to go over anything she might have overlooked. Any potential clues or something similar.
Alexandra having gone with her, of course.
In that case, why don't you please make an investigation roll with advantage?
My investigation bonus is +1, so I'll roll. Shit, that's only a 7.
With a 7, nothing substantial is found, aside from the body of that creature you fought some time ago.
Well, Alexandra is going to be on constant watch throughout the night in case Edwin tries to ambush us or send someone after us.
In that case, I will need both a perception check and a stealth check from you, Emma.
That's only a 6 for perception. An 11 on stealth. Shit, I'm rolling bad this session.
Emma, your reconnaissance mission doesn't go as smoothly and as quickly as you'd have hoped. You failed to find Edwin and to find out what his plan is. You almost get caught by a few townspeople snooping around. but you manage to make it back to your house intact and undetected. Whilst that is happening, the rest of you begin to feel a gripping anxiety befall not just yourselves, but the whole village. Thunder sounds and booms, lightning flashes, and rain soon falls. Kamara and Bronson, you both struggle to rest as this anxiety becomes chilling and unshakable. There's an undeniable, impervious sense of inevitable destruction and conflict with every second that passes.
Well, shit. All right, everyone, we need to act. No time to rest now.
Camarere and Bronson, you both regain half of your expended slots and spells back. Also roll 2 health dice, and that's the amount of HP you regain. Before any of you can say or do anything, rapid knock sound from the front door. Then they get louder before the door falls off its hinges and collapses to the ground. Edwin stands, his eyes pitch black once again, black veins running down from them. His skin is ghostly pale, and his figure striking.
Hello again, dear sister. It seems you've been spreading disparaging rumors and gossip about me. You never knew when to keep your mouth shut, did you?
What in the fucking hells have you done, brother? What in the 9 hells have you gone and done?
I haven't done anything, yet. I've come to make you and your associates an offer. To your associates, you will leave this town and not speak a word of this to anyone. Else you will be slaughtered like cattle. I will know if you go and spread word to anyone. My lord always watches. And to you, sister, join me. My lord has plans for you in this new age as well as I, should any of you refuse. I will strike you all down right now and without mercy.
Your new lord, brother, what in the bleeding hells have you done? Have you gone and made a deal with something?
You're closer than you realize. I have been given extraordinary powers and abilities. Thanks to my new lord, whom I have pledged allegiance to. In return, the whole town shall devote themselves to his cause. Clarice found that out the hard way.
Brother, why have you gone and done this? Why have you done this to yourself and practically doomed the entire town? Our homeland.
Because our family name once meant something before father went and fucked that all up. It's time for our family name to mean something more than a betrayal and worthlessness. My lord has promised me that our family name will begin anew and will inspire fear and reverence throughout this realm. Already I control the weather to my will, albeit only temporarily, but that's just the cusp of my abilities. I can summon undead beings, as your associates witnessed firsthand. I can conjure eldritch energy and bend it to my will. And all of this is merely the beginning. So join me, sister.
Edwin, this is not you. This is not who you are, brother. Where's my actual brother? The one who comforted me during thunderstorms, who promised reassurance when times were bad. He was there for me all the time when I was little. Always.
He is still here, but all grown up, all powerful and all promising, who once again extends his offer to his little sister.
Emma slowly makes her way over to him, her face somewhat emotionless, and her body relaxed. Edwin, you would seriously damn Budbrooke and our people just for the vague promise of a new family venture? A tyranny?
Our people will not be damned. They will be reshaped, and then born anew. Like a pottery maker, making and forging a new masterpiece with wet clay. We will all kneel before our Lord, and everything will be right again.
Emma looks into her brother's eyes, caressing his cheek like mother once did. Edwin, please don't do this. None of this needs to happen. You don't have to prove that our family name is worth more than it is. Can you really live with yourself, knowing that you're going to cause so much damage?
It will not be damage, merely reforging a new era, harmless yet beyond beneficial for us all. Edwin looks down at his sister as she locks into his pitch-black eyes that, for a moment, seem to flicker with recognition and clarity. Emma, I will not extend my offer again. Take my hand and we can begin this new era.
Her eyes slowly begin to fill with blackness, soon identical to Edwin's. Her lips become blue and her veins darken. She turns to the others, looking corrupted. Leave, adventurers. Leave with your lives and your bodies intact. Like her brother's words, her own words reverberate throughout the house.
What's just happened here? Emma snapped out of it. Bronson draws his weapon.
Bon sang donc. She's clearly not herself. Edwin has corrupted her in some way. We need to try and snap her out of it like you just said.
I think it's a little too late for that without fighting them.
As my dear sister just said, you are free to leave. However, should you start spreading word about this and start an insurrection, then I will butcher all of you. Slowly.
Please, everyone, walk away from this. Go on and live your lives. Emma's crooked grin matches her brother's eyes in terms of corruption.
And allow the takeover of destructive being. What kind of soldier would I be if I permitted that to happen?
A most obedient one. Soldiers don't think for themselves, they receive their orders and follow them to the damnedest of their ability. So be a good soldier and obey.
I'm afraid I'll have to disobey that one, you son of a bitch. After all, you're not my commander. They hold their position with dignity and resounding devotion. Bronson will activate Barbarian Rage before launching a slashing blade attack. 16 to hit, 9 damage.
All right then, everyone please roll for initiative. Emma, Bronson, Alexandra, Edwin, and Kamarir. That's the order of the initiative list. Emma, you're up first.
Emma enters a defensive stance, readying herself against anyone who attacks her. That's her turn.
Bronson growls and roars like a tiger before lunging at Edwin again, his blade cleaving through the air like a knife through a butter. Despite his focus, Edwin steps aside, Bronson almost falling flat on his face.
Alexandra springs into action, flicking her wrist as she speaks some arcane words, a bolt of fire hurling towards Edwin. It strikes and lands directly in his face, leaving him mildly burned. She follows it up with 2 blasts of lightning that just miss him.
I didn't want it to come to this. Within a second, Edwin thrusts out his palms, corrupted energy erupting from them. Only one lands, blasting Alexandra with painful impact. He then implants a mild curse on Bronson, purple energy swarming around him.
Kamarir just finished putting her armor back on just before initiative. She gets a little closer to Edwin before a cone of infernal fire immediately conjures itself after holding out her hands. He faced it is coming, his entire body engulfed in flames. She moved back carefully. She then cast Gossamer's imprint. From the looks of things, Edwin seems somewhat unaffected as the necrotic energy wraps around him like rope.
I warned you. All of you. Emma's step seems to lighten as she somersaults over everyone, landing right in front of Alexandra. Not wasting a moment, she strikes out with an uppercut punch, getting Alexandra in the lower jaw. You wanted blissful paradise? This is a shortcut straight to it, you bitch.
Bronson's rage slips from him again, so he just goes all in, reckless as he swings his blade. His blade lands directly in Edwin's left side, into his pelvis. Dark red blood erupts from the wound, Bronson seeming unfazed. He activates his rage again, his grunt sounding like that of a bear.
Alexandra spits out blood directly into Emma's face, looking incredibly weary and close to passing out. Her eyes seem to glow as well as her entire body, feeling her ASMR blood call to her. Her eyes become pools of darkness and ghostly flightless wings sprout from her back. An aura of necrosis and fear emanates from her, Alexandra now looking like the embodiment of the Grim Reaper. Her voice is unrecognizable as she curses at Emma and Edwin and Celestial. Her radiating hands are surprisingly warm to the touch as she heals herself, turquoise light washing over her.
Edwin seems relatively unbothered by Alexandra's transformation, although his eyes do twinkle with a sliver of admiration. Looking down at Bronson, he merely draws his rapier, flourishing it before plunging the blade towards him. That's a natural one. He calls upon his adrenaline and strikes again. This time it lands, wounding Bronson in the arm. He draws upon his reserves and heals himself a little, his veins getting darker.
Kamarir is now Alexandra's current form. She's such an impressive display of power. Certainly glad she's on our side. Refocusing, Kamarir casts her healing magic on Alexandra just in case. Her voice boomed as she cast vicious mockery on Edwin. She proclaimed, "You think you're more powerful, but in reality you're still who you were before. Hideously, abhorrently ugly."
Edwin seems relatively unaffected. He probably didn't hear that.
Emma's petrified as she gazes upon Alexandra's ghostly angelic form. She can barely raise a fist against her, but tries anyway. She lashes out with 2 rapid punches, but Alexandra swats them aside with her ghostly wings. Panicking, she decides to run from her.
Alexandra attempts to zap her with arcane lightning, but misses somehow.
Bronson is too immersed and deep in his rage to fully notice Alexandra's new form. He lunges at Edwin, this time aiming for his neck, going fully reckless. He just misses the neck, but still scrapes his blade down Edwin's side, hearing him wince heavily as more blood flows.
Alexandra calls upon her special blood, arcane sorcery, fueling her next spell as she fires it within a heartbeat. She fires a chaos bolt with a pressuring aura, her voice still unrecognizable as the multicolored bolt flies and crashes into Edwin. Thunder damage erupts into him from all directions. Residual thunder damage lingers before bursting and striking Edwin again. Alexandra clicks her fingers as she fires another bolt of flames, but it saunters past him before fading out.
Edwin cocks his head, cracking his neck before reciting some arcane words, attempting to bind Bronson.
Natural 20 for Bronson's save.
Oh shit. Okay then.
Kamarir attempts to cast Ben on Edwin. Kamarir succeeds the spell, the transparent enchantment magic sticking and coating Edwin's body like glue.
Emma unleashes a frustrated scream as she unleashes a flurry of attacks against Kamarir. 2 rapid punches connect, one striking Kamarir's nose, the other on her jaw. She then slams her knee against Kamarir's stomach, the blood from her face afterwards.
Kamari yelps and is breathless, falling onto the ground, beginning to lose consciousness fast. Blood trickles from her nose or mouth.
Bronson sees Kamara collapse after receiving a beating from Emma. His rage intensifies and fuels his next strike, his blade and body swirling around like a whirlwind. His blade cleaves through Edwin's hand, slicing it clean off, watching it flop pathetically to the ground.
Alexandra fires another chaos bolt, getting distracted at the last second as she sees Kamarir drop to the ground, her spell missing as a result. Frustration builds before she hurls arcane lightning at Edwin, successfully striking him in his chest.
Alexandra, how do you want to do this?
I will let Bronson do the honors.
Thank you, Alexandra. Bronson slams the hilt of his weapon into Edwin's crotch, bringing him down to his knees. He grabs Edwin's face before whispering something only him and Bronson hear before Bronson screams and beheads Edwin, his head rolling over beside his hand.
Emma's eyes begin to regain their normal color and the veins lighten. Alexandra, your form fades and you return to how you were before. Kamarir is barely conscious on the ground.
Rubbing her forehead, Emma gradually regains her bearings and is immediately beside Kamarir, pouring a healing potion into her mouth. The potion slowly begins to take effect, healing her gradually.
Alexandra glares at Emma, a flicker of residual celestial energy in her eyes. What the hell's happened to you, half-elf? What did Edwin do to you?
I'm sorry, Alexandra. I'm sorry to all of you. Edwin controlled my mind, corrupted and twisted it even. I could feel some sort of weird influence as he did so. It consumed me completely. But now that he's been killed, that weird hold on me has been broken.
Kamari takes a ragged breath, coughing and sitting up.
Easy now. It's okay now, Kamari. Sit up slowly.
Bronson will loot Edwin's body before joining the others.
Bronson, you attempt to loot and scavenge through Edwin's body. The significant items on him are a magical rapier of some sort, along with chain shirt, armor, a shield, and a letter written what might be infernal. He has a peculiar garnet ring on him as well.
Bronson will help Kamara sit up before offering her the magical rapier. He will keep the armor and the shield. As for the ring, he'll try and get it identified soon. He keeps the letter to himself for now.
Kamari gladly accepts the new weapon, now on her feet.
As you all recover and regain your bearings, the atmosphere calms and becomes peaceful. Of course, Edwin's beheaded corpse laying there beside an open doorway soon gathers everyone's attention. Soon there's a crowd forming outside. Some are in utter disbelief and vomit as they look at the body.
Emma's eyes dilate as she spots the crowd forming. Well, shit. Bronson, Alexandra and Kamara, you all stay put whilst I go deal with my people. They deserve a candid explanation as to what has happened, and also why their mayor is laying there on the ground without his head.
Jumping further ahead in time, after hours of explanations, Emma explained to her people what her brother was planning all along. Even after all that, the townspeople are still barely convinced. But since Edwin has been killed, Emma's now next in line for the mayoral position. They certainly have the convictions about the high odds of Emma doing a better job as mayor than Edwin. Preparations for Edwin's funeral are soon underway. It's not till around late morning as Emma returns to you all. She looks exhausted and is sweating. During that length of time, I will allow everyone to have a long rest. You all hit level 4 as well. Even though Emma looks extremely exhausted and weary, she seems to have a lot more confidence and is happier.
Right, I think things are settled for now. I cannot thank you all enough for helping me. And for what you did, you practically helped me save my beloved hometown. I don't have much to offer you in terms of financial rewards, but you all have my unrelenting gratitude. As new mayor of this town, I'll do a far better job than Edwin. Although my heart still weighs heavy when thinking about him. I think there was still a little bit left of him deep down, but it couldn't fully fight against whatever powerful force was raging inside him.
There's still one lingering question in my mind. Whatever happened to your cleric? Clarice, wasn't it?
Well, one of the townspeople did recover her glasses. From outside the church, apparently. We know that they belong to her, since the frames are distinctive. Clarice is extremely blind without her glasses, so I dread to think about the full extent of what happened to her. If she's still alive. And if she's still alive, we have no idea where she is or what's happening to her currently. Of course, I'm going to launch a full-scale investigation and a search party to find her. Alexandra, I will prepare a full batch of that tonic for you as well. Whilst I'm doing that, why don't you all head on down to the sauna?
Wait, there's a sauna here?
Yes, Bronson. Next house up from here on the left. I'll make sure no one disturbs any of you.
Kamari rubs and rotates her shoulders. Un sauna me semble génial en ce moment. Un sauna sounds great right now.
So you all head down to the sauna for some well-deserved relaxation. The cold chamber is fresh and the thick steam fills the main chamber. There are changing rooms, of course, where you can get dressed into towels or undergarments or anything of the sort.
Just to be clear, are we all comfortable being semi-naked in front of each other?
Oh, Bronson, why must you go and make it awkward? We're all adults here. Don't be like that. I appreciate your concern, but there's really no need.
I appreciate it, Bronson. I'm comfortable with this sort of thing. I'll see you both in there after I get changed.
Alexandra is the first one in there wearing a crop top tunic and fancy underwear. She makes sure to pour some cold water onto the fresh chamber to really amplify the heat. She then picks a spot and lays down, yawning contently.
Bronson is the next to enter, donning on the undergarments. His prominent muscles start to glisten as he begins to sweat.
My, Bronson. What a lovely sight for sore eyes. Alexandra looks over, her head up and briefly looking at him before laying back down.
Why, thank you. I aim to please. Bronson sits quite close to the fresh chamber, trying to absorb and get in as much of the heat as possible.
Alexandra stretches her arms, eyes closed. Her bare legs also begin glistening as the temperature begins to rise. Bronson, what's taking that tiefling of ours so long?
You mean tiefling?
That's what I said, sweetie. What's taking her so long? Don't tell me she changed her mind.
I'm sure she's just taking her time. There's no rush, you know.
No, but there's however long she's taking right now. I don't usually judge, but at this rate, we'll burn through the main chamber before she shows up. Then we'll all be left cold and disappointed.
A small sneeze sounds from outside before Kamari steps inside, wearing a sort of cloth brown underwear. Sorry I took so long, I had to clear my nose out. Emma's house just really got to me earlier.
Well, Gesundheit. And you're finally here. We were getting worried about you, Kamara. Quite worried.
Yes, Alexandra over there was getting extremely worried. Bronson raises an eyebrow at Alexandra after she gives him the side eye.
Yeah, sure I was. Alexandra rolls her eyes before taking deep breaths as she relaxes, sweat beads gliding down her body.
Kamari sits near Bronson, soon leaning back as she tries to relax.
Bronson pours some more cold water into the main chamber, the temperature extremely high, yet everyone seemed comfortable. Bronson sits down himself.
Kamari seemed to gradually unwind, although she wasn't as warm as she'd like to be, but that's due to her infernal blood.
After some time, Bronson pipes up. Kamara, I didn't mention this to anyone else because I wanted to examine it more closely, but I found a letter on Edwin.
A letter. Well, what does he say?
That's the problem. It seems to be written in another language, I think infernal.
So this is a job for me, basically.
Precisely, you're the best tiefling for the job.
You mean the only tiefling? Kamari shackled, resting a hand on her bare legs. Ou alors mon ordre. Mais je n'ai pas mes lunettes en ce moment. Ce n'est pas le meilleur moment, on est en train de se détendre.
Again, please don't ask me to ask you to translate what you just said.
Will you both talk a little less? Or not at all? I'm trying to unwind here.
Kamari shackles again. How charming, Alexandra. And Bronson, I said I don't have my glasses on me right now. And this isn't the best time for relaxing. We can pick this up another time.
I understand all that, but I can't shake the feeling that we're on borrowed time right now. This letter, I can't shake the feeling that it contains crucial information.
Well, Bronson, if you please go get my glasses from my satchel, then I can have a little look at this letter.
I see you two aren't focused on relaxing just yet. What's all the blubber about?
If you're sure, Kamara, you don't mind me going through your satchel.
Kamari seemed to hesitate for a moment, nodding afterwards. I'm sure. Just don't get too nosy. That's all I ask.
Of course. I'll return in a moment.
As Bronson leaves, I'll inform Alexandre on what we just talked about in regards to the letter.
Bronson, you head back to the changing rooms, finding Kamari's one with ease. There you find her satchel hanging open and from a peg hook on the wall. Her clothes are folded nicely in a pile. Also, there's fresh incense lit and filling the room with the scent of lavender.
What a fine scent. Lavender is a good choice. Bronson will, of course, look through Kamara's satchel for her glasses.
Bronson, as you look through the satchel, a half-written letter falls out along with Kamari's glasses.
A letter. An unrelated one, of course. Bronson does seem curious, but folds the letter up and places it back in her satchel, soon returning to the steam room after grabbing Edwin's letter from his own room.
Bienvenue à toi, Bronson. Welcome back. All went well. Kamari rubs her legs a little nervously, trying her best to appear composed.
Of course, here Kamara, Bronson hands Kamara both Edwin's letter and her glasses. I truly hope I'm wrong when it comes to my feelings towards the significance of this letter.
Bronson, you're worrying far too much. Whatever this letter says, we'll find a way to deal with it. If it's orders for an army of undead, we'll burn them to cinders. If it's plans to reduce the Sword Coast to ash, then we will prevent it.
Kamari unfolds and smooths down the crumpled letter, slipping her glasses on as she does so. She reads the letter aloud, in her mother tongue, as it's written. Grotte de Craqueforge. Mon cher ami, le moment est proche. Je vous écris pour vous faire part de vos inquiétudes concernant les portails infernaux qui s'y ouvrent partout. Continue comme prévu. Ces portails ne sont qu'un effet secondaire du travail de notre Seigneur, un moyen de maintenir le peuple effrayé et distrait. Je vous écrirai à nouveau bientôt. Edwin.
Well, I'm sure you know what question is coming your way next.
Correct. Translated. Crackforks Cave. My dear friend, the time is near. I am writing to express your concern about the infernal portals opening everywhere. Continue à planned. These portals are merely a side effect of our Lord's work, a means of keeping the people frightened and distracted. I will write to you again soon. Edwin. Kamari sets letter down on her lap, looking at the others.
A side effect of our Lord's work. He's describing these portals as if they are a diagnosis and not some catastrophic event. Makes me irate just thinking about it.
Well, the portals are sure pretty to look at from a distance.
Bronson gives Alexandra the look.
Hey, I didn't say I like them overall. They're pretty to observe, but of course they're extremely dangerous, so that's no excuse.
That's more like it. Camarera, can you please recite the letter one more time? In common, please.
Sure. Crackforks Cave. My dear friend, the time is near. I am writing to express your concern about the infernal portals opening everywhere. Continue à planned. These portals are merely a side effect of our Lord's work, a means of keeping the people frightened and distracted. I will write to you again soon. Edwin.
Crackforge Cave? A location possibly?
DM, can I please roll a history check to see if I've heard of that name before?
Of course, Alexandra. Roll a history check or a general intelligence check.
Wait a minute. Alexandra. Before you make the check, I'm going to cast Enhance ability on you. Focus scanning specifically. You now have advantage on all intelligence-based checks.
Why, thank you, Kamara. 17 altogether with the advantage.
Alexandra, the name does seem familiar to you. It does ring a bell or two. Maybe you overheard someone speaking the name during a drunken night at a bar, or just when you were out and about, but you recall a vague tale about the cave being haunted by numerous spirits. As a result of it being haunted, many people don't venture there. The cave itself is hidden within the Small Teeth Mountains. The Small Teeth Mountains themselves are north of the Wildath Woods.
Of course, I tell everyone all of this.
Well, we have another destination to keep in mind. After we've gone and inspected that portal in the woods, we can head there afterwards.
Allons as Mayor Archibald doesn't get too impatient. Because we've been gone for nearly 3 days now.
Yes, there is that.
Well, I'm sure the world won't end if we lay and relax here a little while longer. Alexandra is already making herself comfortable again, her body radiating in the dim light.
You know, at some point we are going to have to talk about what you transformed into back at Emma's house, Alexandra.
Yes, at some point further on in the future. Not now, sweetie, so please.
As time passes, you all relax and get extremely comfortable in the sauna. As the temperature rises and the thick steam fills the room, you can all rest a bit or leave or discuss things further if you wish.
Camarir can't quite seem to fully relax, even though she's laying down and her eyes gently closed for a moment. She looks up at Bronson, who's sitting near her. Bronson, did you find anything related in my satchel? I searched for my glasses and books.
Unrelated. Such as Bronson shifts a little.
That's what I'm asking. Did you see anything unrelated in my satchel?
There was a letter that fell out along with your glasses. Is that what you meant? I didn't read it if that's what you are concerned about.
That's what I was concerned about, the letter falling out of my satchel. I put it in my satchel in quite a hurry. So I was worried it might have fallen out. Thank you for not reading it. De Bronson.
You're very welcome. I wasn't about to snoop and read through your private business, Kamara. Although if the letter is of some concern to you, we can discuss it if you wish. If not, I completely understand and will let the matter rest.
Alexandra is in a deep sleep, breathing softly and looking like she's in a delicate meditation.
I'm not sure. I do want to discuss it, but not here. Can we go out back to the pier?
Of course, Kamara, whatever you wish.
You both head out to the back of the building, where there's a large body of water underneath a wooden pier of sorts.
Kamari sits on the edge of the pier, her feet dangling and swinging as they brush up against the water. She invites Bronson to sit next to her, the midday sunbath in the boat.
Bronson sits down next to her, smiling as Kamari swings her legs slowly.
Bronson, how much longer do you think we will be on the road for? She lowers her head a little, looking down at the shimmering water.
I can't really say for certain. Why do you ask? Is there something bothering you? Is it Alexandra? Her little remarks. I don't think she really means them. She just doesn't take things as seriously as you and I do. She kind of deals with things as they come in her usual manner.
Oh no, it's not her.
Is it me? Have I said or done something wrong?
No. Somewhat of the opposite, actually. You're a very pleasant company, Bronson. It's just that the longer we're on the road, the more I worry about something. I don't think I'm ready to elaborate, but I am getting more worried, Bronson.
Well, rest assured that whatever I can do to help, just say the word.
Thank you, Bronson. I sincerely appreciate that. You're so sweet. Kamara bit her lips and turned a little, rubbing her knees.
And, again, you're welcome. Bronson's heart begins to race as he watched Kamara bite her lips together.
Kamari's tail hangs around her waist. She looks back at Bronson, eyes almost glistening. You are very considerate and sweet. She gestures for Bronson to sit closer to her. Her feet deep into the warm water.
Bronson does so, licking his lips a little nervously. Kamara also sweet and a little quirky.
Merci beaucoup, Bronson. Tu es vraiment adorable. Thank you. I'm going to go finish writing the letter. I'll see you in a bit. Hopefully Alexandra will have woken out of her slumber by then.
Bronson nods, looking into Kamara's eyes. If that's what you want to do, I'm not stopping you. Even with his nerves of steel, Bronson's heart still races.
Kamara looks into Bronson's gaze, her stomach doing cartwheels and flips. She does seem to begin to lean in, but quickly gets up, heading back inside, her cheeks flushed.
Bronson forgets to breathe for a moment, taking in and exhaling a deep breath. He goes for a quick swim in the lake to snap himself back into focus.
All right, then, everyone. It seems we will leave it there for today's session. It's been a decently long one, and we all really enjoyed it. Thank you, everyone. See you next